was America, the birthplace of religious freedom.
For the first time in the history of the world, a civil government guaranteed religious liberty in the New England state of Rhode Island. It was founded by Roger Williams and Baptist Dr. John Clark.
This was America, the land of Bible believers.
America was the most biblically literate society the world has ever known.
This was America, the land of Bible-preaching churches.
In colonial days, there was one gospel-preaching church for every 500 people.
This was America, the land of revival.
It was during the Great Awakening that under the powerful preaching of George Whitefield and Jonathan Edwards, thousands of colonists were gloriously saved.
This was America, the land of Baptist church planting.
Baptist preachers like New England native Valentine Whiteman helped start 9 churches in the face of persecution from the established church. Pioneer preacher Isaac McCoy was the apostle of the Western Trail. He labored among the early settlers and Indians, starting churches wherever he saw needs. He founded 10 churches in 7 different states. In 1855, Baptist preacher and colonial settler Shubal Stearns started Sandy Creek Baptist Church in North Carolina. He helped start 9 churches in 5 years. When those churches also started churches, over 42 churches were birthed in 15 years. And in 15 more years, 1,000 churches had been started from Shubal Stearns' Sandy Creek Baptist Church in North Carolina. About this revival, one historian said, "From this Zion went forth the word, and great was the company of them who publish it. It has spread branches westward as far as the great river Mississippi, southward as far as Georgia, eastward to the sea in Chesapeake Bay, and northward to the waters of the Potomac." Today, over 3,000 churches can trace their heritage back to this church.
This was America, the land of foreign missions.
Baptist missionaries like Adoniram Judson were sent to foreign lands.
This was America, a land of godly citizens.
Then, Christians forgot church planting.
Now, this is America.
The Bible is banned from public schools. Over 1 million babies are killed each year.
Now, this is America.
1.8 million are violently assaulted each year. 1 in 3 American adults do not attend any type of church regularly.
Now, this is America.
6 in 10 teenagers have never attended Sunday school. It is taking longer and longer for our foreign missionaries to raise their support.
Now, this is America.
There is only one gospel-preaching church for every 50,000 people, and year by year, more of these churches change their beliefs and standards. Every year, 4,000 more churches close their doors. Yet God's plan for America has not changed. God's plan is still the Great Commission, and the Great Commission is church planting. By following God's plan of planting churches, this great nation of ours can return to its godly heritage. Today, some churches have already begun seeing God move through planting new churches. Central Baptist Church has previously started 13 new churches. A Canadian church has started 15 churches. A Missouri church started 5 churches in the last 8 years. But more needs to be done. America needs a revival of church planting.
We are the Townsley family, church planters to Terryville, Connecticut. I grew up in the home of pastor and church planter Dr. Jim Townsley and was saved, baptized, and discipled at the Central Baptist Church in Southington, Connecticut. In high school, I surrendered my life for full-time Christian service. While attending Bible college, God called me to preach. For the last 10 years, my family and I have had the privilege to serve the Lord at Central Baptist Church. We've been involved in choirs, orchestra, preaching, Bible teaching, the nursery, senior adult ministry, vacation Bible school, and the bus ministry. And in the summer of 2007, I was ordained into the gospel ministry. In the spring of 2008, God began working in my heart from the verse in John 4:35, "Lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest." It was then that God called us to be church planters. But where would God lead us? I had a few towns in mind when I asked my father what he thought about Terryville.
Someday our church is going to start a church in Terryville. It's interesting that God spoke to his heart Because I remember when he was a child, we were riding in a car coming down toward a mountain. And as just a young child, he said, "You know, if God wanted me to go over that mountain, I'd do it for God." It's interesting, that's the mountain he's going on. And I believe God's going to use him as he goes there to start a church.
I also asked Evangelist Dan Souza, who lives near Terryville, what he thought of the spiritual condition of the area.
It is a city, it is a town ripe for the harvest of souls. And when Brother Townsley told me of God's call on his life to go there and to start an independent Baptist church, my heart just leaped within me because I know the need is there and I know what God can do is a great thing.
Being a missionary's daughter, I loved the countries my family lived in when I was a child, but my greatest burden for a long time has been the United States. I love Terryville and I'm excited at having the privilege to serve the Lord there.
Why we think we should plant independent Baptist churches because there is not a Baptist church in the whole town.
I want to be able to get saved.
Terryville is one of the few places in Connecticut that still has a small town feel. It still has the Colonial Congregational Church on the green. It was named for Eli Terry Jr., whose 1830 water wheel powered local industry. This led to manufacturing clocks and locks. This area is largely blue-collar, middle-class families. The people are very patriotic and proud of their veterans. Terryville is also home to the Fall Terryville Fair that attracts over 30,000 people from Terryville and surrounding areas. The area is growing with families moving from the cities of Waterbury and Torrington. Not only is Terryville without an independent Baptist church, the surrounding towns of Plymouth, South Harwinton, Burlington, Western Bristol, and Wolcott are too. It is our goal to get the gospel to every home in this area through John and Roman's distribution, door knocking, and the Phones for You calling plan. We plan to continue preaching God's Word through Bible clubs in Terryville High School and through gospel evangelism at the Terryville Fair. We are also praying that 500 people would partner with us by daily praying for Riverside Baptist Church in Terryville, Connecticut. Pray that souls would be saved and discipled. Partner with us in prayer by signing up at our website, www.riversidebaptistchurchct.com, or at the sign-up sheet at the display. Pray that churches would support our family so that we can quickly get to Terryville to begin reaching souls with the gospel. Please pray for a revival of church planting in America so America can once again be a land where Christ is preached, people are saved, and God's Word is obeyed. America can once again be a land of revivals, a land of Bible believers, a land of Bible preaching churches.